Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Robert D'Alessio. I'm the host of Rob's Inner Circle here on the Bobby's Short Shorts YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We have, as always, another exciting show for you tonight. So you guys want to stay glued to those chairs. Do not go anywhere. We have a great guest on our show tonight, as usual. Before we go on to our guest, I just want to make a couple of announcements over here. For those of you who are fans, and there are many of you who are fans of the new sitcom that we have on Bobby's Short Shorts here, Daily Struggles. Episode 3 is just about to come out. It's ready. We have, of course, as usual, our lovely, beautiful, and talented Patty Saragosa, my co-star on the show. And in episode 3, we have Mr. Claudio Silvio Capri, who's making a cameo appearance, his first appearance on a sitcom on the net. And Claudio did a fantastic job. You guys are going to check him out. He's a local comedian. He takes care of the offbeat comedy here in Montreal. And he also has a podcast with the Dirty Four that he shares with Victoria Blair, so Joey LaFlamme, and Peter Bowen. All of these people have been on Rob's Inner Circle before. So you guys might want to check these people out. And of course, let us not forget the talented voice master, Mr. Art LeDuc, once again, is going to be lending his beautiful voice on our show. So he's going to be performing again. And of course, an excellent job that he did, like always. So guys, one last thing before we go on to meet our guest tonight. She is absolutely fantastic. You're going to love her. I promise you. Guys, you want to go on to the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel. What you want to do is go on to our productions. You want to click the like button. You want to give a lot of these blue thumbs over here. Right now. Okay, so what you want to do is come on. You want to share. You want to comment. You want to get us out there. You know, it's important that, you know, this channel grows, right? So we want you as well to go into that rectangle that's red. You want to click onto that. It's subscribe.
I'm doing a show right now. I can't talk.
That's a subscribe button, right? And then there's also right next to it, there's a little bell. You want to click on that. That's got the notifications. Every time there's a new production coming out, you're going to get a notification. Okay, guys, listen. Our guest is standing by, and I just can't wait to introduce her to you. She's a sensation. She's from Montreal, guys. This is where we're broadcasting from, Montreal. All you people all over the world, welcome. I know we have Australian friends. We got American friends all over Canada. Everybody, welcome, welcome. We got some in Europe, in South America. Hello, everybody. Don't be shy. Come on down and join the podcast. Don't be shy. You can go ahead and comment over here. If you have any questions for our guest, don't be shy, guys. Okay, our guest at age 4, she was already singing at a community center in Little Burgundy. And by age 8, she organized her first variety show in her parents' basement. And there was a cover charge of $1 per person. And imagine, she actually shared the revenue with the performers. Guys, I'm going to let you tell you all about it. And one last thing, she also appeared in the Maclean's magazine, a magazine that's very well known here in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I just can't wait to have our guest on tonight. Please help me welcome Josa Maule. Josa. Hello, hon. Hey, thanks.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening. Thank you for having me on the show, Robert.
Josa, it's my profound pleasure. Listen, I just can't wait to get started. Like, I'm excited. So you know what? Can you elaborate with us? We're talking your age 4. You're taking singing lessons at a community center. And take it from there. Go ahead and just share your story with us.
Well, you know, my mom always wanted us to be in a lot of different things that she did not do growing up in the West Indies. So we were part of the Negro Community Center with singing, dancing, acting, piano playing. With I had the honor and privilege, along with a lot of other people in this city, to work with Daisy Sweeney, who was she was also the teacher to iconic Montrealers Oliver Jones and the late Oscar Peterson.
Oh, fantastic.
And you know what? I've always been, as they would say, a little hammy. so to speak.
Okay.
And so, acting, performing was something I always wanted to do from a very young age. And like you said, at the age of 8, I gathered my cousins and some of my friends in the neighborhood. We did a little variety show from time to time, especially when my parents would have functions, little, parties and so on and so forth. We'll be performing and preparing everything in the basement while the adults are doing what the adults do at that time. And then I'll invite them to come downstairs, charge them $1 each, and pay the actors a quarter.
Wow, that's
probably more than what I'm paying them now. Joking. But it was always something that's been in my spirit, something I've always loved to do. And I've been doing it ever since. When we had the conversation, we were talking about doing the show. And when I do these interviews, I'm realizing I got to start writing all this stuff down and putting it, and writing it somewhere or articling or archiving it, because there's so much stories and I don't know where to start. And and I mean, I can go on forever and ever, but can't be forever. But I'm extremely thankful doing what I love to do. I started this school when I was 25 years old with no money. My uncle Charles, my mom's brother, had left us, a little something when he passed away. And I took that and I invested along with my mom's credit card doing advertising while working a full-time job at the suburban newspaper. So, sorry, I'm just getting distracted because of messages are popping up. I have not turned back. I mean, there's been trials, there's been so many different obstacles, but I am stronger for them.
Well, Josa, you know what? I have a little something for you here. I want a toast to Josa and your wonderful school, the Montreal School of Performing Arts. And I'm going to get to it after this sip of wine, after this toast. I want to say,
this is going to be the last sip. Otherwise, it's going to
be Go ahead. Salute to your health.
And just in case anybody wants to know what I'm drinking, it's Comte André Bon Paysan.
Oh, wow. It sounds
just
good.
To let you know.
Right. Josa, I wanted to say I had an experience at your school. Actually, I got my first speaking role at your school. There was a casting, Jay Fields. We're talking 2003 over here. And I actually got the role. I scored the role. And I ended up going to Scarborough, Ontario to film. It was a film like back in the day of Napoleon. Mm-hmm. And James Benchamal, he was my co-star. You remember him?
Of course. He's James have not left me. He's taking workshops with us right now.
Well, there you go. Well, he was my co-star in the show and actually in the movie, and I had a lot of fun that day. So, we go back a while, Josa and I, folks. I've known Josa for many years. Actually, I know practically the whole family. Can I go on and share how it is that I know that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm a retired city bus driver for the South Shore of Montreal. And one day there was this woman running, a nice, elegant woman. I saw her in the mirror. I waited for her. She came onto the bus and she thanked me, blah, blah, blah. And that started a conversation. That was the first time. The second time she came on the bus, she told me her name. And when I heard her last name was Maule, I go, okay. By any remote chance, I mean, this is probably like unlikely, but are you related or do you know anybody called Josa? She goes, that's my daughter. You're kidding me. So I actually picked up her mother for many years. And I'm the guy who always dropped her between the stops and was waiting for her when she was running.
And she remembers that.
Oh my God, that's cool.
She remembers that. I mean, my mom is 84 and is going to be turning 84 soon.
God bless her.
And, she's still got all her faculties from time to time. But I was telling her about this show, and I was telling her, who I go, Mommy, you remember Robert? He was an actor. She goes, oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. She remembers me. Oh, beautiful.
And she goes, no, first she goes, I just remember this driver. You always use a sub. I go, yes, Mommy, that's the actor one. And, so, I'm very fortunate that I've been doing this for 28 years and not by myself. I mean, I've had, a lot of people behind me and some of them who are still behind me, and students and teachers who've come and gone that were very supportive of what we do. And, like even now where I reach out for some of our students who are working in the industry to come and be a guest panel on our Let's Talk Showbiz on Zoom, which we do every Wednesdays at 6:30 to 7:15. Okay, we always say it's about 45 minutes, but it's always more. But and just when I ask people for certain things, it's like, sure, no problem. And so I feel that I know how much work that I've given out, and the students that have been through our school, the education, the contacts, the kicking in the when they needed it, the tough love when warranted, and the support. And that's what we do, pretty much. I know that you want to know a little bit more of who I am from my background. And so, I mean, pretty much I started doing this at a young age. I was part of the Vincentian Association. My family's from St. Vincent.
Excuse me, Josa, tell us about your website.
Oh, MSOPA.com. I was going to come back with that, but
okay, I'm sorry.
MSOPA.com. I was going to give you a little something about my history.
Okay, go on. Go on.
I'm okay for now. I want to stick with water.
Go ahead.
So from a young age as well, being part of the Gardenville United Church. I couldn't remember the name of the church, but it's Gardenville United Church. Being in church plays, being part of the Vincentian Association, variety shows and singing every year. I was part of Girl Guides, Brownies. Then I was part of Les Créations des Enfants, Children's Creations, that was headed out by Clara Shapiro. And that I found another passion of doing, producing, working on the production end of it. I learned a little bit of press releases and what goes behind the scene, opposed to being in front of the scene. And I was about 11, 12, 13, around that. Hold on, I'm calculating. 13, I was 13. And then after, doing a little bit of acting here and there, I joined cadets, the military, which sometimes surprises a few people because Josa took orders.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Josa made it look like I was taking orders. That's small. But I learned so much from being in cadets, and oddly enough, some of my friends and cadet and members from my cadet corps are also part of this industry. You have Danny Joffrey, who's been in a few of the Wyan's brothers movies. Danny Blanco, a very well-known Montreal actor. Beth Ann Maule, who is a first AD, second AD. Andy Bradshaw, and the list goes on. If I forget anybody, I am sorry. I am getting older. I can't remember everybody's names. But it was just funny. And, and a few producers that were in part of my Connect Corps, how from being in the military to transform into film, to acting. And, I started off with this, and then I went to something else, and then I came back to acting. And then I left for a little bit to do early childcare, and I was doing workshops throughout the school years and back and forth from Montreal, New York, family, so on, and left acting for a while and came back to acting. And so at the age of 25, it's like, I'm not going anywhere. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm doing it.
Very good. So while you were in the cadets, you actually went up certain echelons, and you were holding quite an important position at one point.
Oh, I was in Banff. I was the mess sergeant, which means I was in charge of taking care of all the parties.
Pretty much. Mess, right?
And which is called the sergeant's mess. Sergeant mess. Hold on. It's been a long time. Mess sergeant,
okay.
Which is responsible for, all the activities as well as ordering stock and so on and so forth. And let me just go back before being in cadets. Since elementary school to high school, I planned every teacher's surprise birthday party.
No way.
And simply for this reason, because I like food, and I could get, I was always on a diet, so I couldn't have all the junk food. So I used to, closet eat, and then, and having the parties, I can get some of the food that, whichever. That's part of my joke, but no, I just enjoyed planning stuff. And so I used to do all the parties, all the teachers got surprised. And it was fun doing it. I was also assistant director in my school plays, which I was a tyrant then. I'm a tyrant now. I want what I want. And like and not everybody may like me, but then again, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I get what needs to get done. And then everybody's like, wow, it actually turned out well.
Well, Josa, anytime any person assumes a role of leadership, unfortunately, you're not always popular. But, like you said, when you're a leader, you assume leadership, you get things done. At the end of the day, that's what counts, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of the students that came to the Montreal School of Performing Arts today are producers and directors and actors in Hollywood, right?
Some of them are. Some of them, I have a few of my students who are acting, and they're in LA. And you know what? And I know I'm going to forget a name, so I'm not going to be mentioning any names because if I'll get a text or didn't mention me, So listen, it's been 28 years, and those people who choose to be working in the industry are working in the industry. Some of my students I've mentored.
Okay.
When we've had our space, there were some students that would come in after school and file, answer the phone, do some administration work. And, when we had our plays, be there to be assistant director. And this gave them an idea of what the business is. And, when I think back to it, that's what Claire Shapiro did for me.
Okay.
Being part of the production wise. And so I welcome anybody who's willing to roll up their sleeves and do the work with me. All right. They get a general idea of what's expected. Now, some of them may like it, and some of them will be like, what the hell was I thinking? It's not necessarily for everyone, but, some people like, no, I'm going to stay in my lane. I just want to be acting in front of the camera. I don't want to work behind. And then there's some people they'll get there and they'll love it. They'll do everything. And, if you're capable of doing everything and just getting it done, like, we had this conversation, You know, why am I waiting for the roles to come to me? I'm going to create my own story, my own roles. And that's sometimes, listen, that's what you got to do. There's no, and I remember Whoopi Goldberg saying this, an actor should be acting. There's no reason in the world why an actor should not be acting. Now, getting paid, that's another thing. But sometimes until you reach that status quo, you got to keep on plugging away. You know, until people get to know who you are, you know, and then you got to keep on working at it. Because, you know, you say Denzel Washington, everybody knows who he is, right? But if you say Jeff Brown. Okay, there's many Jeff Browns because Brown is a very, you know, but if you know, there's a few actors, and right now they sort of like, my brain's going crazy here. Ozem, you know, Ozem. Most people don't know him, but he's a working actor, and there's a lot of working actors. You don't have to wait to be a celebrity to be a star. And I often get questions. So how long is it going to take for me to be a star? And I go, I don't know. Star? Wow. How long is it going to take me to be a millionaire?
It could take forever.
Well, you know, that was a rhetorical question, but you know, it's people that want to get into this business don't realize the work ethic, the work that involves. You know, it's not just I want to learn my lines and become a superstar. All right, I want to become famous. I mean, there's a lot of people who are famous and has nothing to do with acting or nothing to do with their music, or they're famous for being, you know, being on Instagram and getting a lot of people to like them and follow them, but they can't do much, really.
Okay. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, an athlete keeps on working out and training and has a coach. A dancer keeps on dancing. A musician keeps on playing. An actor should keep on acting and working on their craft.
At a young age, you had told me, this is off camera, your mom would send you to Brooklyn in the summertime as an exchange, and you got some experience there. Maybe you can share that with us as well here.
Oh, well, I mean, the exchange. I mean, like, I would go away for the summer. It would be Brooklyn. It will be, you know, somewhere in New York. And I'll take acting workshops or summer camp, I would say, in New York. And until my cousin and I will start fighting. Yeah. But, so I, you know, and I did a few New York workshops from time to time. They're not cheap. And then I developed an acting workshop I developed a weekend excursion in 1990. We opened up in 1992 and 1995.
Okay.
94, 95. We would go to New York on Victoria Day weekend and participate in acting workshops in New York. And from various schools that I worked and trained at, like American Academy of Dramatic Arts, I took workshops there. Herbert Berghoff, I took workshops there. And various people that I met along the way, we'd go and we'd take workshops long weekend in May and October. Since Trump's been in, I think our last trip was 2014.
Okay.
Our last trip was 2014, and since Trump has come into power, I have no intentions of going into New York until he's gone.
Okay, so you're a supporter, huh? Okay, Josa, tell me. Okay, here I am. I'm watching this interview here, and I'm telling myself, you know what? Hey, I want to go to the Montreal School of Performing Arts. What do you offer exactly? Do you offer what, the comedy? What is it, theater? production. What is it that the school offers exactly to anybody who's interested in signing up?
We offer acting. We offer
Okay.
acting point blank. We offer acting for everything, for acting for film, stage, TV, and commercials. We also do offer improv comedy, voiceover, pretty much everything that an actor needs to know or learn. We're offering that. Okay. We know what the demand is. We've been doing it for 28 years.
Okay.
And not only are you taking workshops, I mean, based on your experience, so I have students who've taken workshops other places, and we put them in, I wouldn't put them in a foundation 2 per se, because we don't know you, but there's some workshops that, like the Just Scenes, that one of the classes I teach, and I had designed this and teach this. So it gives me an idea of how strong or what you're lacking as an actor.
Okay. So, for instance, is there like an age group? Are there some workshops for children, also for adults? Is there like a variation or age? Is it open to anyone?
It's open to everyone. The youngest being, I would say, 6 years old. And we usually gauge it because sometimes you have the 5-6 year olds who are still very cute, and they bank themselves on that.
Okay.
and they'll be the youngest in the class, so they don't really try to fend for themselves. But we gauge that. Our oldest student who's registered with us has been 76.
Wow.
Over the years, and so there's no ageism. I mean, like the youngest being 6-7 years old. So we do children, we do teens, and we do adults. Okay. And we for the last 2 years we've had a lot of students who were in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. They were either starting midlife crisis,
okay,
looking for something to do during their midlife crisis, or retiring.
Well, someone who's retired obviously has a lot of time to go into acting, and do you agree with me? And I guess you would know better than I do that anyone who's an actor should take any gig he gets, even if it's an extra in a movie. You agree with me?
I do agree to a certain extent. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, if you're just starting out and you've never done anything, yes, you should do background work.
Okay.
All right. And it's some people like, oh no, you don't want to be seen as just being background. Once it's when you're starting out and getting known, it's a great way of meeting people.
Okay.
All right. Meeting people, being seen by other ADs and filmmakers, because everybody that works on set is are part of the film industry, including sometimes the makeup person. His son or daughter may be a filmmaker or a budding filmmaker and may see you. It's like, you know what, my son's looking for this or my daughter's looking for that. It's a good opportunity to start. And I know a few actors who, hey, listen, I need to make some extra money. I need to make some quick money. Here, let me do some background work. So, in my opinion, you do everything you possibly can. When you feel that, after a certain time where you feel that being with a crowd of 100 people or not, all right, if it's worth your while, that's up to you. But if nobody's going to see you if you're at home. And I've had people return background work, but
okay.
I turn down background work, and there's certain people that I will never call again.
Oh, okay. Josa, you have, my understanding is you have certain workshops that are free. Is that right?
Right now, well, since COVID, all right, we've been offering, a few free workshops.
Okay.
On a weekly basis. One of them is Let's Talk Showbiz. And we talk about getting started, staying in the business, what to look out for, keeping professional, and at the same time I bring in guests. I don't promote the guest because I feel that if this is something you want to do, all right, it's free. If you're available, check in. You never know who you're going to meet at MSOPA.
Okay.
It's always going to be free.
Okay.
And so since COVID, we started doing online workshops.
Okay.
When before COVID, we always offered 2 to 3 acting open houses a year, and then we'll also do $20 trial classes. So this gives you an idea. It's a $20 investment. It gives you an idea of who we are, what we do, the spaces that we work out of, and if you like it or not, and if it is for you.
Okay.
And one of the things that we've been very hands-on over the years. Now with COVID, we can't meet with you in person, but I still have a conversation. And with the free workshops, I still get to meet you online. So we do have a connection and an idea of who you are. So while we are doing COVID right now, and I don't want to say it's going to be here for a while, but right now, everybody is safe in the comfort of their home, and in their time, depending on when our workshops are, they can participate. There's those that are for free. They change periodically. We have Susan Bain who does cold read, and you can find that all on our website, www.msopa.com. We have a section for free workshops and one for online. MSOPA has always maintained keeping our workshops affordable, and we are still doing that today. For a 4-week workshop, 1 hour, it is $40.
Oh, that's very affordable.
We have a virtual summer camp for children and one for teens. It's an hour a day. For the children, it's the first thing in the morning, 9:30 to 10:30. And it's getting their creative juices running. They're working on music. Like this session, they did they composed the piece.
Okay.
The adults wrote a song called COVID. And wash their hands. And they still got to work on that a little bit. They're not singers, but this was something they composed, and they worked with West Can folk dancers. So we brought in a little culture in there, African dance, Caribbean dance. So that was something different. I mean, some of them are used to hip hop, but not this, TikTok. But they're not used to African Caribbean dance. So it brought a little bit of a little bit of my culture to the table.
And you're from the island of Saint Vincent in the West Indies.
Well, I'm born here, but my parents are from Saint Vincent.
And you were saying, being from the islands, your mother, because wherever you go in the West Indies, it's party time. It's very artistic. People are very talented. And being from a Caribbean background, like you said, your mom enrolled you in all sorts of activities.
Yes, she did. And my mom, all right, it's not until now her later days, because my mom has also been acting.
Oh, okay.
She did an episode on Fatal Vows.
Oh, cool.
And the actors on set, they were like, your mother, my mother had gained this respect from everybody when they met her, right? So when she said, "Stop this nonsense," as her line, everybody stopped because, but the director was like, no, keep on going. and actually, the first role my mother did was I had her playing a dead woman on a table.
Ooh.
It was for a student. Actually, it was Annie McDonald, who was a professor at Vanier for music. And And then she did some extra work. She worked with us on Beyond Borders, helping me with assisting with Joanne Titley. And she also did, oh my gosh, the Reagans, and she also did Philip Spiro's movie, The Descendants, which was about Negro rock in the Eastern Township, and they were discussing how slavery existed then. So my mom was one of the ghosts. And so recently she did Fatal Vows, and she did My Worst Nightmare. So, and she was hilarious in it. And everybody who's met my mom, you know, they're like, oh my God, your mother's like amazing. So, but, and then my mother's sort of like, well, you know, I used to act before. I used to do some of this. I was good then, you know. And it's like, oh, now you're telling us.
Your mom is an exceptional woman. I always had a great time. Every time she came on the bus, it was my good luck charm. So she would come on, and I'd get a phone call from my agent and also the producer of our show, Jenny DeHame. She would be calling me up. She'd say, hey, I got an audition for you. And a couple of times I actually scored the role. So your mom was a good luck charm all the way.
Thank you.
I have a question for you. I know the MSOPA is giving classes in English. By any chance, is there any French classes you give, or is it just in English?
All our workshops are given in English. There hasn't been that much of a demand.
Oh, okay.
If for francophones, I mean, in Quebec, there's quite a few schools in French, but
okay.
we get quite a few francophones wanting to take classes with us.
Okay.
You know, some of the film schools are disappointed that there's not a school like us for them to come to. You know,
okay.
because a lot of our actors and a lot of filmmakers, student filmmakers, come to us to get actors.
Okay. Josa, let's say in the near future, should there be a demand for having courses in French? Is this something that you might be looking at?
If I can find the right teachers,
mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well, so that would be fantastic.
But you know, I'd have to find the right teachers. The thing is that most of the people that have been with me, if they have not studied with me 28 years ago or from a young age, you know, it's a trust factor. You know, and there's great French schools that I would recommend. I don't want to mention any of them here because if I forget one or whatnot, but you know, you can always DM me or send me an email at info@MSOPA, and I'll give you a list of people that I know people have held in very high regard.
So that would be at info@msopa.com, right? Okay. Tell us about, you were telling me before we went on, that you got bombarded from students from Concordia. What was that all about? When
my cousin was in Concordia, and we're going back 1995.
Okay.
And so she came to us to use some of our actors, and she had a really great presentation. And people were like, where did you get the actors? And she said, oh, my cousin owns Montreal School of Performing Arts. And so then they started coming. And then I was asked to speak at the school, at the film school. And then next thing you know, I was doing at least 3 to 4 student films, or I wouldn't say doing, assisting, consulting student films for at least 2 to 3 a day. Sometimes, you know, it would be like 2 to 3 a day. It would be, you know, 10 a week. And then I'm getting independent filmmakers, students who recently graduated, who are doing paid stuff, to come to us. It was a welcome bombardment. That's a word. It was a welcome problem.
Okay.
It was a welcome problem, uh, and I'm grateful and thankful because a lot of the filmmakers that came to us established great relationships with some of our students who are working with them today. And some of the filmmakers, they've moved on, they're working in production and producing or writing or editing, and they always refer people to MSOPA to either come to us to get actors or go to MSOPA to take workshops.
Okay. Do you offer, let's say, established actors? They have a big audition coming up in LA and they need some coaching. Do you have that service as well at MSOPA?
We do offer it. We do. I mean, we do offer. But at the end of the day, if the actors, established actors, you should be working on your craft at all times. And my personal opinion is that the casting director knows what they want and what the director is looking for. So there is a slippery slope when you over rehearse, overdo it. I have great friends who are acting coaches that's been doing this for years in LA and New York. One of my very good friends who wrote a book, Susan Batson, you can Google her. She does coaching for actors on set.
Okay.
But yes, we do provide. We would provide coaching.
Okay, and to go back a little bit in time in history, you're absolutely multi-talented. You're a tap dancer. You're a singer. You play piano. You did some stand-up comedy. You did some improv.
I didn't really do improv. I would sort of we had a workshop called Improv Comedy with Terence Bowman. Okay. So whenever they did the final class at the Comedy Works, I'd jump up on stage. But I did do stand-up for a while. I started here in Montreal, and I have a really great friend and mentor who owns several comedy clubs in New York.
Okay.
So whenever I go to New York, he's like, he's been trying to kidnap me to stay in New York to build my comedy career, so to speak. But in truth, I love doing what I'm doing. So
Josa, one of your teachers at MSOPA right now is Terence Bowman, and you'll be pleased to know that Terence is going to be on our show on the 10th of August. He's going to have his full hour with us.
Okay, cool.
One of your products from MSOPA, we're just going to extend the love, having some more of your school on our show here once again. Can you also talk about the other teachers you have? There's Terence Bowman. There's 2 or 3 other teachers there as well.
There's quite a few teachers. There is Susan. There's Paula Davis, who does. She teaches voiceover, and she also has done American Standard English. She does private coaching for ASE, as we call it. She started with me 28 years ago, and we developed this great friendship and started her teaching children, then teens. And then there was a need for the voice class, and she developed the program. And it's one of the highly sought workshops right now, along with our foundation class with Terence Bowman and Susan Bain. Susan Bain is also a working actress, and she's done several. Before COVID. She was at the Centaur doing Mob. She was on the soccer production show. I can't remember the name right now. I'm drawing a blank. But she's a working actress, and she's fabulous with the students. We have teaching our children is Amanda Mara. She's going for her master's in drama therapy.
Okay.
Amanda started with us, with MSOPA when she was 8 years old. She's been teaching our children class for the last 3-4 years.
Oh, okay.
And we have Mary Francis, who teaches musical theater. She's been with us for 15 years. And she teaches the children and teens summer camp. And pending, people get scared with musical theater. All right. to try it out. They get a little bit intimidated. I can't sing, and she and Mary France will say this. She goes, "Everybody can sing, but it's singing well. And by the end of this session, you are all gonna sing a song." And she's very like dot dot dot,
Wow.
you know, and that's her Jamaican background too.
Okay.
And I also have Matt Langton, who teaches the teens from time to time. Also a student, a graduate from Concordia. And one of my students, teachers, or student teacher that I'm bringing up, and he's doing an amazing job right now, especially with movement and voice, is Kevin Stiglia.
Okay.
He's known me since he was 9 years old. He started taking classes when he was 11. He's 27 or 28 years old, and he's a graduate from John Abbott Professional Theater Program. And he's been with me as an assistant director, on set, as with me in casting rooms. Also, we have Tally Brady, Natalie Darbson, who works with me. She's been my godsend assistant with casting. She's a reader. She works with a few with the casting houses as a reader along with me. And she's now, I sort of threw her in the water, but then COVID happened. So hopefully, we'll see her back when, but Natalie got her first role, and the first thing she did was go and produce a short film.
Wow.
So my teachers, they are very passionate.
Well,
they're very passionate.
It goes very well with you, because you're an absolutely passionate person. I mean, you breathe the arts of performing. What is the advice? Because you were telling me before we came on air, actually in the interview we had a couple of days ago, that you went through a lot of bumps over the years. A lot of people would have given up, but you just kept on going.
Well, let me just tell you this story quickly. Something that somebody had sent to me years ago, and it's about a donkey, the jackass. So sometimes I consider myself the jackass. And this donkey fell in a hole, and the farmer was trying to get this donkey out the hole, but nothing was working. So they decided they're going to bury this donkey alive.
Oh, no.
So they kept on shoveling dirt on this donkey. And the more dirt they kept on throwing on him, he pulled himself up. So they kept on throwing more dirt and more dirt and more dirt, until eventually the donkey came up from the hole.
Wow.
All right. And life is not easy. There is twists and turns. And like I said, I'm the jackass that, no matter how much shit you throw at me, how much dirt, okay, I am going to rise above it, because I'm not meant to go anywhere right now. And yes, and every business and everything that we do, there's always going to be ups and downs, and I get a lot of my students who started off in this business, and they're like, wow, they're getting roll after roll after roll, and then they get a dry spell, and then they may get one, and then nothing happens for a while, and they're oh, I don't know, I'm going to give up, and it's like, no, you don't need to give up. You just need to keep on being persistent. It's not your time right now. Everybody's got a season. There's a season and a reason for everything. And yes, I've had a lot of obstacles. I mean, not only business wise, but also health wise. I had inflammation infection in my left leg. It was almost the same string as the flesh-eating disease. All right. Now, when I got into the hospital, I would say, okay, well, I need a break. And that's pretty much God's way of saying, yo, bitch, you don't want to slow down?
We're going to slow you down.
There you go. And mind you, I was doing casting for my hospital bed.
Oh, my God.
I was booking the nurses' children and so on for background work.
Salute.
So, and then, you know, I had another obstacle with my uncle was sick. My aunt had a stroke. I was taking care of things with my father. My father was, 80 at the time. So even though he had his wits and everything about him, he still did not. And I also had, business was failing. And there was times where just had to push myself through it, fighting a depression, thinking what, that's it. This is it. I'm not going to do this anymore. But I'll wake up in the morning and say, okay, Lord, what is it? Why? Okay. All right. I hear you. And I did things that I had to do. And I haven't looked back, and then I had another health scare in 2013, and it was it was scary, and that was just coming off of I don't care anymore to let it happen to what the no, I'm not going out like a punk. I'm fighting this. I'm getting through this. And that's what I'm doing. Each day is a gift, and I'm thankful for it. And and every now and then another line that I heard from this Christmas, Loretta Devine said that. She goes, if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans. And I in 2017, I was commissioned or hired, or however you want to say it, from UNIA, which is Universal Negro Improvement Association, founded by Marcus Garvey. Another thing about me is that I've been doing Black history shows every year where I actually talk about history. And so they had hired, and since we no longer had our permanent space as of 2012, I wasn't really doing any stage productions because didn't have that kind of money to do productions. But UNIA had hired me to do the directing and get my actors to do a production for Black History Month. And that got me back into wow. And 2018, we did When Africa had empires. And in 2019, we did When Africa Ruled Empires. And 2020 was a challenge. I lost my dad in December, and thank you. And so I was like, okay, we're going to do it August the 1st because Black History doesn't have to be only in February.
Okay.
And we were going to do something August the 1st for Emancipation Day. So anyway, so that's how I got back to UNIA. That's my history. So I love it. Right? I write the shows. It's all historical facts, and I put it together and make it into this show with costumes and design. And it's a small show. Mm-hmm. It's an intimate space, and we had 14 actors, but the costumes and the stories and the music, and I was like, okay, So right now I'm working on another show for Black Lives Matters, Black History show. I don't know. I just went way off your question you were asking me. I don't know.
Hey,
I told you I shouldn't drink wine.
well, listen, you've been doing it reasonably, but what people didn't see is what we did before we came on, right? They don't know what happened, right? Hey, what's coming up right now for you, Josa? What do you have in the works?
Well, we're not doing our annual barbecue in August.
Oh, no.
Sorry. So people are going to miss the jerk chicken, but I will be selling the jerk off sauce and rub. So that's to be announced where we're going to be doing when we're going to be doing that. It's going to be in August, of course.
Okay.
I also want to mention that the money that we raise from our barbecues usually it's scholarship for our children at risk.
Okay.
And we lost an icon in the city. Icon, some people, whichever. Alan Heilig. He was a student of mine. He's been a friend. People that worked with him in the industry. Everybody knows him in Montreal. And so this year it was going to be in memory of him. And his family has been very generous with their support. So we will be, in the coming years, being offering scholarships for children and teens that are at risk, and people who are on the spectrum. So we will be offering, one or two scholarships on a yearly basis. And we don't know what's happening with COVID. So we're going to maintain doing our workshops online everywhere. Anybody can come wherever you are. Come join us. So we're going to continue doing our workshops online for now. I'm working with a few other organizations for Black Lives Matter. Working on a platform with not just only on Zoom, but on other platforms. But right now, we're going to continue offering our online workshops. You can check it out on MSOPA.com.
And what's fantastic about your school, Josa, and it just goes to show how much of a beautiful, generous person you are, is that you make the classes affordable for everybody. So it's nothing that's like out of reach. Anybody who's aspiring or dreaming to be an actor could actually make it happen by taking your classes because they're so affordable.
They're affordable, and also it's not only just taking classes, we also guide you. Oh. We educate you. It's not like, okay, fine, thank you, goodbye. All right. We may not be able to answer every question you have in that, hour that we're doing the class. But that's why Let's Talk Showbiz comes in. Okay. So you can ask a couple of questions, and we have other professionals there. Okay. When we're doing, feedback in all our workshops, when we're doing how to do a self-tape. Okay. That's also offered free of charge. And I go over the do's, the don'ts. Now show me an example. Like, now let's see how well you listened to me. Okay. And then we do a feedback. And then I do another, okay, well, now this is what you need to work on. So let's see how well you took direction. And then there's another feedback. All our classes are really, hands-on. Even though we're doing the Zoom, there's no more than 8 to 10 students in the class. So it's really, everybody's getting an opportunity to show their work. And we are really guiding you through this industry. We try to give you as much information, information for you to move forward. Now, you get this information. What you do with it, that's totally up to you. You know, I mean, we are here for you. You know, some students expect special treatment. Are they, oh, you like this person? Okay, listen, I was called the Montreal Acting Mama by Maclean Magazine. They had featured 110 Canadians in 2014, and I was honored to be one of them.
Wow.
110 Canadians, and they chose me.
Fantastic. But you're an awesome talent. You're a great, generous person. I mean, there's so much to love about you. And I've known you for many years, and I've always had a profound respect for you.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, what's your take? Okay, someone who's into theater and wants to go into acting in front of a film camera. What's your take on that? How difficult do you estimate that it is for a person to make that transition, that jump?
It's not difficult. It's just learning to tone it down just a little bit.
Okay.
You know, when you think about, I mean, acting is acting. And
Okay.
with theater, because you have to be big, you just have to learn to tone it down just a little bit. So I always recommend for theater students to take camera classes. One of the things that we do in our workshop, Just Scenes, I prepare you. Just Scenes is a challenging workshop. You get a script 2 to 3 days as if you're preparing for an audition, and I have you do it like on Zoom. I get to see you. All right. When we're doing it in class, I still get to see you, but I do it as if we're doing an audition. So you're in the hot chair and we don't see your reader. And so my focus is on you. And I will work what has to be done, bring it down. This is before even the cameras. When we're doing this online right now, I'll be like, okay, let's bring that down. Okay, stop. Let me stop you right there. Breathe. Let's bring this down. And of course, a lot of actors need to make choices and so on and so forth. Some of them don't. They want to spit out the lines and they're running a race. So I'm just, being on camera. And what we do with our sessions, being our online audition class, is that we record it. So you get to see exactly what you do. And when we're doing when we're in person, live in person, we have a camera course. So you get to see what you've done first, then we play it back, and then we do it again. And then if we have time, we play it back and we do it again.
Tell me, Josa, there's a lot of actors out there that go to auditions, they work hard, they study, they paid coaches, they spend countless dollars, and for some reason they come back, they never get the role. What's your take on that? Why is it that might be happening? Both me and you know what it is, but for the audience out there listening, what could it be that's not clicking?
Okay, I'll give you my opinion and my point of view.
Okay.
All right. First of all, things that you cannot control when you go into the audition is what they're looking for and what you look like. All right. Sometimes it's not that you did a bad audition. All right. It's just that you're not what they're looking for. But my point of view is that also a lot of actors, they go in there trying to prove something. All right. That's my opinion. There are some actors who are doing it because they love it. And there are actors whose hearts are not really in it. Okay. All right. They've done the workshops. They've gotten private coaching. They've gotten the best coaching. They paid X amount of thousands of dollars to take certain workshops, but they're not there. They're not there in the moment. They've memorized lines and they decide to do it. Oh, when it says jump over, I'm going to go jump over. Okay. When it comes to this one, I'm going to pick this side. All right. And no, I mean, what you cannot control is what they're looking for. And once you know your lines, all right, have fun with it. It's time to play. Make choices. and be yourself, because that's all you can do is be the best you. All right. Don't come in and say, I'm going to the store. All right. Because nobody talks like that.
Right.
You know, and I know, like, I've been in auditions where I'll say, okay, you know what? Let's talk. Just talk to me. You know, tell me how your day was. You know, don't act. Just talk to me. You know, okay. See that right there? Okay, so let's do that again. Yeah, and again, in my opinion, and please don't send me any hate mail because I really don't care. Is that some people take themselves too seriously? They want it. I mean, it's great that you want it badly, but want it realistically, because again, in my humble opinion, and from what I've seen, all right, and conversations, I've had numerous conversations with a lot of students of all ages, and when I have this heart-to-heart truth with them, they find their joy again. There are people who leave acting and they come back and they decide, you know what, I enjoyed when I was doing it, so let me come back and have fun. It's like an athlete. The minute they start considering this as a business and their heart's not into it, and think about Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Okay? When your heart's not in it anymore, doesn't make a difference what you do.
Jerry Maguire wants you to show him the money. I love that line. Cuba.
Well, show me the money. But one of the things that Tom Cruise told him is like, you know why? Because your heart is not in it. Your heart is not in it anymore. You wanted to show you the money, but your heart's not in the game. And when he started putting his heart in the game, he started doing better because his heart was there. And it's the same thing with actors. You know, I've had students who've had numerous opportunities, but the only thing that stopped them was themselves, because they froze up. All right. You got to do it because you love it. You got to do it for yourself. And there's nothing, you can't be anybody else but yourself. Trust and believe. I don't want to sound like I'm going to church or preaching right now. I'm just telling my truth. You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, there are some actors who are fabulous. They've trained, they work hard, they work really hard, but they may not have the look that they're looking for. And they may not have, you know, what's really important. And a friend of mine said this. She goes, first of all, we want to know if we want to like you. So if you're going to walk in there with a little divitude, you better just walk out.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to know if they can stand you for X amount of days that you're going to be shooting, because nobody wants to go to the hospital. Somebody's calling the ambulance, and somebody's getting locked up. Okay. So, I mean, joking aside, but I mean, take what you love and really love it, you know, and I get the frustration. It's sort of like being on a diet. Okay. Some people can relate to this. Some people can't. All right. Now, of course, you're not going to lose weight if you are eating those donuts every day.
Yeah, but if you eat the diet donuts, the one with the bigger hole inside, you probably will, right? Right? Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
But you know, it's like when you put the effort into it, then it comes, you know, and that's what it is. I mean, yes. I'm on the fence when it comes to getting a coach for auditioning. I think that if you really work at it, make your choices, I think, you know, they're going to see you. And once you go in and you do a great job, they may not like you for that role, but they're going to keep on calling you back because they do like you. And one thing I tell my students is that, and fellow actors, is that, okay, well, you've been at this casting house before. They keep on calling you, so they must like you. Otherwise, if they don't like you, they won't call you. I had a guest and an agent, and he said he had submitted this actor, and the agent and the casting said, "Why are you representing this person? You know he's not good." And he said, "Well, he's done a little bit of this and that, and I think he's improved." And the casting said, "Okay, I'll call you back and let you know that he wasn't good."
Oh, okay.
Casting called and said, "You know what? Better. I can see he's worked on it.
Okay.
You may not ready for this one, but maybe next time." So you see, you just have to keep on working at it, and people expect after taking a 20-hour workshop, they should go and audition. They should go and get an agent. How long did it take you to be a doctor? How long does it take you to be and I have lawyers. Oh man, like, how long is it going to take, man? Like, I go, how long did it take you to pass the bar?
Mm.
Oh, okay. I've had athletes. There was a newspaper article written about Brandon London, who played for the Alouettes. And he was coming to me for private coaching because his game schedule, so on and so forth. And I gave him shit in front of the reporter because he didn't do his homework. And he's giving me every excuse. And my look was,
oh.
Well, no, it's sort of like, I don't listen to excuses. My students will tell you, when they start giving me an excuse, I just go, I'm not listening. It's an excuse. If you didn't do it, just tell me you didn't do it. Don't give me an excuse why you didn't do it. Just tell me you didn't do the exercise. Because, hey, good. So we're not working on this right now, because you didn't do it. So
Josa,
there's...
Sorry, I didn't
but let me just finish the story. So, so the reporter asked, who's tougher, the coach for the Alouettes or her? And he said, well, yeah, she is. 3 years down the line, I had said something, and sometimes I talk, I say things, and it's like, oops, yeah, I said it. Oh well. I said he's not ready. He doesn't want it bad enough yet. And then he had texted me, and he said, "You were right. Now I understand what you said."
Okay.
So this is work that you got to put into it.
Okay, Josa, tell me, what is the worst thing an actor can do walking into an audition room?
One, oh wow. The worst thing is walk in there not being off book, not being professional. All right. Walking in, it's like, yeah, hey, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. And like very familiar, very nonchalant. All right. Very are walking in with an attitude. And once you do that, like there's no way, they're going to want to work with you. Or begging, oh, please give me the role. I will be really good at this. Don't do that either. Don't beg, don't brag. Yeah. So, I was talking to the producers that are working on this. Casting doesn't care. All right. Because they're hired to do a job. They don't care who you know. They're hired to bring you, hired to find the best people for the cast. So if you're going to come in and drop in about who the name is and so on and so forth, don't care. You come in, you're professional all the time. Make sure you have your sides, make sure you're off book if you can. Well, actually, for me, it's make sure you're off book. Bring your picture and resume. If they don't take your picture and resume, it's okay. But they may take it, who knows. But you walk in there with confidence in yourself, being pleasant, that you are somebody that they want to hang around with. All right.
Excellent.
Because if you walk in there like you're the shit,
you're out. Josa, to get back, tell me if you agree with me, is that you go in for an audition, you're not going to get that audition, you will get noticed. They may call you for another role, maybe a little farther down the line, or maybe they got friends too. They're doing auditions as well. Hang on, I know this guy came into the audition room. Maybe they'll refer you to the other casting house.
Absolutely. And I get I get that a lot of times. I mean, there's people that come in to audition for me, and I'll be collaborating with the Bruno Rosato or Elite Casting or whichever a casting director or director. And it's like, oh my God, yeah, you know what? Robert came in, but he'll be great for this role. I saw Jenny was in class, and they'll be great. So as long as you come in and you're professional, because also it works like, yeah, this guy, yeah, really.
So someone comes to MSOPA with an attitude. Like the first thing you're gonna do is like,
the first thing I tell them, hold on. The first thing I tell them, there's only one diva here.
There's no room for competition, huh?
Competition, no. There's only, and we joke and we laugh about it, but at the same time, it's that anybody that comes with an attitude with me or towards doing what we're doing, they're not going to get anything out of it. And I wish them luck. I wish them luck. Because attitude doesn't get very far in this business.
Well, whether it's
you can have. I'm sorry.
Yeah, whether it's with you or even on sets or casting houses, it's like a big no-no. You're not going to get anywhere at all. In fact, we've been saying it since the beginning of the show here.
Likability goes a lot further. All right. I always tell people this: you can always be remembered and never forgotten.
Oh, there's that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People will never forget the crap you've done. People are not going to forget how awful you were, how misbehaved, how unprofessional. They're not going to forget. But they're going to remember how professional you are, how friendly, how kind. That's what people are going to remember.
I was actually on movie sets at some point, and I saw, like, to my dismay, I saw some actors getting thrown off set by the director. He just like totally lost it because they were just not, professional. They were saying the main actor's lines, and the actor just like he didn't like that. That's in The Day After Tomorrow with Dennis Quaid. I think he was jumping on a trampoline, and it's a long time I haven't seen the movie. He was jumping on a trampoline, and one of the extras went on the trampoline doing his lines. Oh, that didn't go down well.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Who was? You know what? I mean, I've heard crap. I've heard stories of extras jumping in, thinking that they're going to get noticed. Oh yeah, They got noticed. They got noticed and fired.
Yeah.
Let me know how that's working for you. So,
if you are on set and you get fired, that's really not good for your career, is it?
Well, I mean, as the background, it really depending. But if you get fired as an extra, yeah, that's. I mean, and exactly what is your career if you're not being professional? It's like being a surgeon and being high and drunk going into surgery.
Yeah, that's not too good.
Being the chef and being drunk and being late to
Yeah. So tell me, Josa, the workshops you have, the classes you have, at the end of the session, you have some kind of a performance. I know that this was like pre-COVID when there were actually workshops going on in your school. there would be like a performance at the end of the class.
Showcases.
So, okay, is that still going on even online?
You know what? Again, we did not know how long COVID was going to be and if we were going to start back. And so we were just testing the waters. All right. For my children and teen class, the summer camp, we did do a showcase.
Okay.
We have a monologue class, which is finishing on Thursday. So we are recording the monologues for the actors. Again, my teachers and I are meeting this week so we can, restructure, regenerate our workshops for the fall, and to keep everybody in a safe environment, which will be home, is the safest environment. So there's no showcases really unless it's children and teens for the time being. But for the adults, for my Just Teens class, I record the last class, and voiceover. There's no showcase. There never is, but we are going to be offering a Foundation 1, so we will offer some showcases. We're looking at doing play reading. I'm working with a few filmmakers to do script reading, so we're going to do that on Zoom. Okay. That, of course, will be no charge, but actors will be selected. Mostly, I have the greatest job in the world. I have my database of my students, and some people will be upset. It's like, they only use their students. I go, yeah, because I know them. Well, when I'm working on a set, all right, I always bring in people that I know.
Okay.
And, one time, and Jenny will know this story, we had one student who freaked out on set and stripped down to nothing.
Hey.
All right. and it's not somebody I know. All right. And then again, you don't know when somebody's having a breakthrough, right?
Yeah.
But if you know somebody's like, just like tipping the scale, then you know not to put them in certain environments. All right. I tend to work with people when I'm doing extra casting. It's always people I know. And they're not always all my actors, but they're people that I've worked with from time to time, or certain people that Jenny will recommend that I've worked with before, or other casting agents that would recommend people that I may have worked with before. But, when you're working with projects which limited budget, time constraint and budget constraints, you want to work with people that are not going to for everybody.
Yeah. Right. So, Josa, you got most of your classes coming up on the 3rd of August, I understand?
The 3rd of August is our, 3rd of August is our summer camp.
Okay.
Okay. Listen, for all our workshops, I encourage you all to go to MSOPA.com, MSOPA.com. MSOPA.com. Check us up on Facebook. I'm working on my Twitter and my Instagram account, but I'm really current on Facebook. But if you check out our MSOPA.com, it's going to give you all the workshops that we offer. You can always reach out to me on Facebook. You can email me at info@msopa.com. You can also call me before 9 p.m. 514. Is it already what? Oh, 9:24. 514-483-5526. All right. I'm here. I'm willing to give you, consult you as much as I can. Don't ask me how you can get to Hollywood quick, because I'll tell you to buy a ticket. Realistic questions, and I will answer you to the best I can. Or I'll tell you, you want to talk about the business? Let's Talk Showbiz Wednesdays at 6:30 on Zoom. Go to our website. The link is there. Register, and we'll see you on Let's Talk Showbiz.
Josa, this has been absolutely wonderful. I'm afraid this is all the time we have, unfortunately. But Josa, before I go, I did want to mention that one of your teachers, Terence Bowman, is going to be on my show on the 10th of August. So
Right.
I'm sure you're going to be tuning in that evening, right?
Absolutely.
And you're going to be tuning in on every one of Rob's Inner Circle podcasts, right?
I will do my best. I will definitely do my best. I'm sure Jenny's going to remind me after class.
Hey, listen, please give my kindest regards to your mom and to your sister Jenny and to all of your
Daddy.
beautiful, wonderful family.
Thank you.
And I thank you again for being on, okay? And I thank each and every one of the viewers that tuned in. A huge thank you to everyone. Josa, please stand by. I'm going to be giving my closing comments, and I'm going to be coming right back to you, okay? So hang on there. Thank you, Josa, once again.
Good night, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Josa Maule, the owner and the operator of the Montreal School of Performing Arts. As you can see, she was absolutely fantastic. What a beautiful story, a beautiful person, very generous, very kind, very talented. Guys, I urge you, you people have to go sign up at MSOPA.com and go see all of the services offered by this amazing school headed by Josa. Now, my closing comments, guys. I do encourage you to go on to the Bobby Short Shorts YouTube channel. You want to go on there and look at all our productions. Give us a lot of these blue thumbs. You want to comment. You want to share. You want to talk about us, guys. I urge you to make our channel grow, right? Okay. So listen. Once again, thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. We'll be here next Monday, 8 o'clock. Same time, same reason. Thank you very much, everybody. And bye. God bless.